Hey guys, thank you so much for all the love that you guys showed me for my latest rap. I know I can't sing to save my life, but you guys are too sweet. Today, however, I'm answering these questions that you guys asked me about English literature, English language, ICSE, anything. I'd put up a story. I thought it's quite tedious to record the answers to every question individually. So I thought I'll compile all the questions together and I'll start answering them here so you can refer to them whenever you want to. So let's start with this. The first thing that someone had asked me is, Sir, will schools reopen for standard 9 from 27 Jan? Nix is asking this. Yeah, I don't know. It differs from city to city, state to state, and you never know. 26 को एक notice issue हो सकता है कि the schools are not reopening. It depends on how severe the cases are in your city. So don't predict anything. जो होगा वो एक दिन पहले तुमको official news में पता चल जाएगा. Mentally, I always say be prepared for the worst. फिर कुछ अच्छा होगा तो अच्छी बात है. You'll be happy. Another person, Riddhi underscore B98 is asking, can I get your notes? Riddhi, I'm so sorry, but if you've enrolled with me, you can obviously access my notes. If you've not, then I'm here to help you out. All right, because it's unfair to the ones who've already enrolled with me. Whenever you're doubtful about something, just ask me. Then Xavier in memes.edits is saying, Sir, Shylock was correct, but was portrayed as a villain throughout the play. I completely agree. And I think a lot of us agree with this, that Antonio was a bully and Shylock was a victim of circumstances. However, Antonio is given the importance of being the merchant of Venice. So this play is important because it teaches you to form your own judgment, and you can read the play and understand how the situation is so that you don't end up being an Antonio in someone else's life. Sir, any idea of the type of paper? Grishma Zaveri is asking me. See, Grishma, normally the papers are ऐसे black and white होगा और trees से वो लोग बनाते हैं factory में. Okay, all right, stupid that was, but I think you're trying to ask me if the paper's online or offline or easy or tough. It's going to be easy, definitely. Online or offline, पता नहीं है, वो Mr. Jerry Athun decide करेंगे. Or like I said in one of my posts earlier, if you ask Jerry, he'll also say, Athun know what you're talking about. I love that joke. I punned on the word Athun. But anyway, the second thing is, Mr. underscore OK is saying, sir, how to find Chief Seattle not boring? Look, I don't think it's boring because for me, it's like a South Indian dubbed movie जहाँ पे गुंडे लोग आके एक विलेज को धमकाते हैं कि भाई लैंड खाली करो वरना एक एक को टपकाएंगे इधर. एंड फिर वहाँ का जो पंचायत का जो मेन सरपंच है वो लोगों को स्पीच देता है कि जब तक कि विजय आके या फिर कौन है वो केजीएफ का जो भी एक्टर है वो आके रॉकी आके हमको बचाता नहीं है तब तक हमें यही करना पड़ेगा, हमारी भलाई इसी में कि तुम साइन कर लो. So in my head, it's a speech that he's giving his people, so it's not boring. Also from a student's point of view, every paragraph is a scope for a question being asked. अगर तुम ऐसे सोच रहे हो कि तुम अपने छोटे भाई के लिए या छोटी बहन के लिए पेपर सेट करो क्योंकि हमारे मन में तब यही होता है कि उनकी वाट लगाएंगे हम लोग, तो ये सोच के अगर तू खुद क्वेश्चन पेपर बनाता है खुद के लिए, you'll notice that all the questions are very predictable. Alright, so do that. Try getting into your teacher's mind and think कि अगर मैं पेपर सेट कर रहा था मैं क्या क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकता हूँ, तो उससे इजी क्वेश्चंस आएंगे. It depends on how it's being taught to you also. RPS underscore 99 said, sir, please show some mercy on ISC also. A lot of people have been asking me to start with ISC, and I think from this March onwards, I'll be starting with ISC lectures as well. So hopefully we'll be meeting soon. Then Parijat Levin said, what are the chances of 9 gold medals this year? Now, Parijat के question के अलावा काफी ऐसे questions पूछेगा. I'm clubbing all of those questions together. So what are the predictions for chapters, prose, or acts that can come in this year's board paper? See, don't predict. All right, because jab se 9 questions are coming in, and you have to choose 5 out of 9, predictions have become tough because earlier kids used to say कि अरे सर जो last year आया था वो इस साल नहीं आएगा. But now ऐसा नहीं है क्योंकि if you segregate chapters according to that theory, then you won't have anything left to study. You'll only have 4 chapters and 4 poems to study and go. Even now your portion is pretty reduced. You've got 8 stories and 8 poems, and act 1 to act 4, that's nothing. So I would advise you to study everything and go. Then my wife Nitya 3015, she thought that her name won't flash away. She asked me, how are you so amazing? I am very cute and I'm very amazing. And also exam में क्या आएगा? I think she just added that. देखो क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है. फिर next one, Nadia Ali Abbas. Nadia Ali Abbas is asking me, is the old man saved or dead in the end? Now that is called a cliffhanger. It's left for us to assume what happens to him. If you're an optimistic person, you would go on to think and hope that the old man has survived it. Thankfully, because the fascist planes were not up in the sky, he still has a chance to escape. Otherwise, if you're a negative person in life, you can say कि नहीं वो वहीं पे उसने सोच लिया था कि उसको जीने की कोई तमन्ना नहीं है, so he might just die. So it's left to our assumption whether he dies or is alive. They won't ask you such questions in the boards, by the way. Then just art at 1904 saying ICSC gives more weightage to lengthy answers or to the point answers. Now this is a very important question. A lot of you have this concern. ICSC does not care about quantity, it cares about quality. So a 4-mark answer can be wrapped up in 2 lines as well, as long as you're covering all the keywords. All right, so focus on keywords. If you're confused what keywords are, just read the textbook. Don't focus on guides. Don't try to answer in your own words. Go with the textual words. Those are keywords. In ICSC, you must have noticed that kids students who are not very strong in spoken English or don't know how to frame sentences correctly, they end up scoring 100 on 100 or 99 on 100. All right, it's because they've got a good memory. They have the power to rote learn all the keywords. So ICSE literature does not focus on sentences. They only focus on the keywords. So even if your sentence is grammatically incorrect, as long as all the keywords are included in answer, you end up scoring full marks. So your focus should not be lengthy sentences. Your focus should be getting all the keywords sorted in your answers. Kaleka has a question. Why was Antonio so melancholy? A lot of people have asked a similar question. Why is Antonio so sad? Why was Antonio not happy despite his ships coming back? इसका कोई आंसर नहीं है. Antonio sad क्यों था? ये पूरे play में किसी को पता नहीं चलता. However, there are several speculation, which is another question that people have asked. Was Antonio gay? And then someone giggled also over there. People are allowed to be whatever they want to be, and I'm sure Shakespeare had these thoughts in his head. He left it to people's assumption. कि जो समझना समझो. There could be two possibilities how I see it. Antonio is sad because he's a sad person by nature. That's what Graciano says, all right, that people have different personalities. Some people are just negative by nature. Some people are always sad. Maybe Antonio falls in that category. Or Antonio used to be considerably happy because Graciano tells him, you look not well. Before the last time I saw you, you were better, but now you look worse. So maybe Antonio has a hint that Bassanio's gonna go away. Bassanio's got a girl in his life. Maybe, Antonio के कोई दोस्त नहीं थे शायद अच्छे वाले सच्चे दोस्त नहीं थे. So he always was attached to Bassanio. Again, someone asked, so why Bassanio? Like, why does Antonio like Bassanio? Like, we don't like him, right? What ठरकी इंसान है घूमते रहता है एंटोनियो को यूज कर रहा है एंड अंटिल द एंड बसानियो डजंट एक्चुअली गो हेड एंड हेल्प एंटोनियो हमेशा एंटोनियो से पैसे लेता रहता है सो द इमेज दैट वी हैव ऑफ बसानियो इज दैट ही यूजेस एंटोनियो टू हिज एडवांटेज सो व्हाई डज एंटोनियो लव बसानियो सो मच सिर्फ शेक्सपियर को पता he created the characters. Maybe Antonio has feelings for Bassanio. Maybe Antonio is just negative by nature. We don't know, and nobody's going to ask you this. All right, you can only speculate. It's one of those things, यार कि सलमान खान अगर किसी को मारता है तो आदमी बाउंस कैसे होता है ग्राउंड पे अब इसका कोई आंसर नहीं बट है वो चीज होती है ठीक है नेक्स्ट वन why is little match girl considered a fairy tale this is an interesting question because first of all just understand what fairy tales are so any genre of story which is designed for kids has some element of magic dwarfs, fairies, any magical elements are considered to be fairy tales. They usually tend to have a positive graph, like a person is in a bad condition and then, something magical happens, Cinderella, or Sleeping Beauty, and then they have a happy ending. But A Little Magical is a very dark story, it's a very depressing story, and yet it qualifies as a fairy tale because a lot of people put it in that genre, though it's a short story. So Hans Andersen was known to write fairy tales for kids, and this one is in the fairy tale genre because it has some element of magic. Lines like she's got golden hair that curls around her neck, and she's got an abusive father, just like Cinderella had an abusive stepmother. So these elements are similar. And then there are these hallucinations that she has, and in the end, although the ending is dark and she dies, she is happy, because something good happens for her because she escapes this rude world. Hence, it qualifies as a fairy tale. I hope that made sense to you. So Madhav underscore Dacha has asked, sir, how to prepare best for literature boards. My advice from now onwards until whenever the boards happen or don't happen, read the textbook. That's the only solution for everything. Read the textbook. Read it as a story. Forget that you're giving an exam. Just enjoy what you're doing, See, you would enjoy Harry Potter or any other book if no one was going to ask you some questions of it. But let's say, kal utke someone tells you, Harry Potter is going to be asked in the syllabus. Pehle khushi hogi because you'll be like, Harry Potter mujhe sab aata hai. But now imagine you have to actually rote learn every single aspect. You'll start hating the book. And that's exactly what's happening with English literature. You hate it only because someone's going to ask you questions from it. Forget that someone's going to ask you anything. Enjoy the stories right from the start. Merchant of Venice एक play है. Imagine that it's a movie, you're watching it on screen, popcorn लेके बैठ. जब भी पढ़ाई करता है popcorn लेके बैठ. एक लाइन समझ में नहीं आता उसको मार गोली, तू आगे पढ़, फ्लो में पढ़, सब कुछ एक फ्लो में पढ़. जितनी बार टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ोगे उतनी बार इजी रहेगा. फॉरगेट नोट्स वोट्स कुछ काम नहीं आता, जस्ट टेक्स्ट बुक काम आता है स्टार्टिंग से लेके एंड. सो हु वाज मोर कूलर, लॉन्सलॉट और गोबर? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डबल कंपैरेटिव, मोर कूलर इनकरेक्ट. हु वाज कूलर बोल सकते हो या हु वाज मोर कूल बोल सकते हो. हाउएवर दैट्स नॉट करेक्ट. सो हु वाज कूलर, लॉन्सलॉट और गोबर? एज इन लॉन्सलॉट या उसका बापू? आई एम श्योर दिस वाज अ फनी क्वेश्चन. आई थिंक दोनों ही सही है अपने जगह पे. एंड देन Ikshita Vivek said, tomorrow we have a PTM. Can you please tell anything that I can tell or ask my teachers? Ikshita, in case you hate me because तेरा tomorrow actually 5 दिन पहले था और मैं अभी आंसर कर रहा हूँ, I'm really sorry, but I have a day job where I'm also teaching and I try to do this whenever I have some time, so I'm really sorry that I'm answering this so late. अगली बार अगर PTM हुआ तो टीचर्स को बोलना कि जब भी तुम लोग कुछ गलत देते हो, at least explain to us why तुम लोग गलत देते हो. Like what are you expecting out of it? Because a lot of you जब मार्क्स कम आते हैं तुम लोग अपने टीचर्स को लेकर बोलते हो मैम 1 मार्क कम मिला, मैम 2 मार्क कम मिला. ये मत पूछो मैम मार्क्स नहीं चाहिए, आप हमें ये बताओ हाउ डू आई राइट इट बेटर, लाइक व्हाट आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग इन द पेपर. दैट वे योर लाइफ विल बिकम सिंपलर. सो माय स्कूल इज रीओपनिंग, दे आर नॉट गिविंग मी अ चॉइस ऑफ ऑनलाइन क्लासेस. दैट्स जस्ट सैड, आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू से टू दैट. Sameer underscore 12 has a question. Is there any method to solve questions answer with appropriate words in quotes? because I always lose marks there. Sameer, I think what you're talking about is tenses. My only suggestion over here is practice. Total English 9 le le, Evergreen Self Study for Language le le, Frank's Way to Successful Language Papers. These are good books. Just practice all the past papers और solutions वहाँ दिए हुए हैं. So every time you practice, तेरे को पता चलेगा तू कहाँ गलत जा रहा है. The more you observe, तेरा एक pattern तेरे को notice होगा कि तू ये एक particular word में गलत जा रहा है, and then you will improve on it. क्योंकि this particular section in the grammar depends on your basics that you've learned from grade 6 onwards until 10. इसको कोई magically improve नहीं कर सकता. How did Antonio's ships return back when it was confirmed by Shylock that they were wrecked? Nobody confirms it, by the way. उस जमाने में किसी के पास confirmation था ही नहीं. Everything they were hearing was gossip. बार में लोग कोक पी रहे हैं, कोक पीते पीते चाय पीते पीते टपरी पे लोग बातें कर रहे हैं कि यार तेरे को सुना है एक वहां पे एक हाजी अली के पास एक शिप क्रैश हो गया. यार पता है वो अपने कंट्री का फ्लैग था, अपने सिटी का फ्लैग था, किसका हो सकता है पता नहीं है, शायद एंटोनियो का हो सकता है, वही ऐसे शिप्स में इन्वेस्ट करता है. ये सब वगैरह ऐसे रूमर्स फैल रहे हैं. ऑलराइट, एंड एक जन एक रूमर फैलाता है, सब लोग वो रूमर को मान लेते हैं. जैसे तुम लोग भी करते हो, बच्चे भी करते हैं. यू नो व्हेन यू जैसे ही बोर्ड रिजल्ट्स के डेट्स कोई भी एक वेबसाइट पे आ जाते हैं, यू गाइस इमीडिएटली स्प्रेड द न्यूज़ अक्रॉस. You don't verify whether it's from an official source or not. So rumors spread very fast and people tend to believe them. The same thing is happening throughout the play. Everything that we've been hearing, Goodwin's था या French and English channel में था, and या फिर जो भी ट्रिपोली से जो शिप वापस आ रही थी, they were all rumors. However, Shakespeare ने भी कुछ angles incomplete छोड़े हुए हैं. End में how the ships return back वो एंटोनियो को भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा. In fact, there's a line where he says, I'm dumb, you know, like I'm stumped. I don't know. शिप्स कैसे अगर मैं क्या बोलूं मुझे भी नहीं पता. सो नोबडी नोस हाउ एंटोनियो शिप्स रिटर्न. पहाड़ी छोरा 07, नाइस निकनेम. So how to score more marks in grammar? He's in class 12. Whether you're in class 12 or 10th, grammar, the only thing I keep telling people is जैसे तुम बायो डायग्राम्स प्रैक्टिस करते हो, केमिस्ट्री इक्वेशंस प्रैक्टिस करते हो, मैथ्स प्रॉब्लम्स प्रैक्टिस करते हो, वैसे ग्रामर इज समथिंग यू नीड टू डू एवरी डे एंड एंजॉय इट. यू नो, डू इट लाइक क्रॉसवर्ड पजल्स. यू नो, एक दूसरे को क्विजेस दो, एक दूसरे से क्वेश्चंस पूछो. ग्रामर इज समथिंग दैट्स एवरीवेयर. इवन आफ्टर यू स्टॉप स्टडीइंग इंग्लिश इज समथिंग दैट्स गोइंग टू स्टे विद यू. नेक्स्ट वन. सो हाउ मच इंपॉर्टेंस डू प्री बोर्ड्स कैरी? ऑलराइट, दिस इज अ नाइस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज़ देयर इज अ मिथ दैट्स अ प्री बोर्ड्स अगर नहीं देंगे, स्कूल फेल कर देगा तो मैं क्या करूंगा, बोर्ड्स में लाइफ झंड हो जाएगी. व्हाट इफ बोर्ड एग्जाम्स डोंट हैपन दिस ईयर, देन माय स्कूल तो हैज नेवर गिवन मी गुड मार्क्स इन प्री बोर्ड्स. व्हाट डू आई डू? Just to clarify, boards is not stupid. Now, I don't know how the marking scheme would be if there are no board exams this year. All right. But even the board, even the council is aware that every school has a different way of grading their kids. No two schools have the same pattern of pre-boards. Like there would be an X school in Bombay, maybe who has 3 pre-boards a year. There would be another school which has only 1 pre-board a year. And one school would have cutoffs. You know, they would not give full marks to their kids, while another school is very lenient in grading their kids. There are these discrepancies throughout all schools across the country. So don't worry about these. If you tend to miss your pre-boards or you haven't been able to give it, boards will not fail you. They will always consider this. There will always be circumstances where you may or may not be able to give your pre-boards. That's perfectly fine. Also goes for school internals. School internals को लेके टेंशन नहीं लेने का. मैं पहले भी बोला हुआ है, जब तक कि तुम अपने टीचर के बेटी या बेटे से फ्लर्ट नहीं करते हो, या तुम टीचर के घर की ट्यूबलाइट नहीं तोड़ रहे हो, या तुम उसके चाय में थूकते नहीं हो, ये सर्कमस्टांसेस है जिसमें टीचर तुम्हें 0 देगा. वरना एवरी टीचर इज गोइंग टू गिव यू 20 on 20 बिकॉज स्कूल के लिए ये मार्क्स मायने रखता है. These are the only scores which are in control of the school. Every school wants to compete with each other and have good results. So you will never lose marks in internals. So next time जब project work आता है, ज़्यादा tension नहीं लेने का. Even if teachers are listening to this and you hate me, we all know what the secret is. Nobody is actually going through these projects. So please stop tormenting your kids by giving them unnecessary project work. Give them something that makes sense. Also goes for kids. Do not bunk lectures in or studies in order to do project. They are gathering dust somewhere in your school shelves. Tips for and against competition. Simple tip, don't attempt it. Never attempt argumentative essays. Never attempt descriptive essays. Always go for narrative or story writing. These are the only 2 scoring essays. तो ये करो ही मत. इसके लिए कोई tip नहीं है. Next one. So can I leave Act 4? Okay. I am not in favor of anybody skipping Merchant of Venice. Simple reason being, if you attempt 3 MOVs, it's always advantageous because MOV is very scoring. सारे answers objective होते हैं, to the point है, और तुमको पता है questions यही type के आएंगे. Where's the scene taking place? Who is in the scene? Who enters the scene? Who exits the scene? What is being said about the person who has exited the scene? What is being said about the person who now enters the scene? सारे questions very very direct है. So always attempt MOV. और तुम एक flow में पढ़ रहे हो, क्योंकि MOV में एक और चीज हो सकती है. RTC अगर Act 3 Scene 1 का है तो question Act 4 में से आ सकता है. कोई भी सीन स्किप नहीं करना चाहिए. तुम्हें अगर स्किप ही करना तो स्किप अ प्रोज स्टोरी और स्किप 1 प्रोज चैप्टर. दैट वे यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग 3 MOVs, 1 prose and 1 poem, और अटेम्प्ट 3 poems, 1 prose and 1 MOV. सॉरी, फिंगर थोड़ा अलग हो गया, मेरा रिफ्लेक्स एक्शंस फास्ट नहीं है, बट तुम समझ गए मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. करेक्ट. सो कैन वी गेट 80 on 80 in literature? Yes, you can score 100 on 100 in literature. कोई टेंशन नहीं है. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. साहिल, एक्चुअली इट्स XS SX Hill dot 24. Weird names you guys have. But this guy is saying, so how would you study Merchant of Venice? I would read it. I would not study it. I would not rote learn it. I would just read it. I had Merchant of Venice in 2002, by the way. That's when I passed out 10. And I hated it. All right, Tab. And then, when I was a teacher and I had to teach it, because earlier we had As You Like It to teach. And I had the whole play by heart. And then suddenly the syllabus changed and they said Merchant of Venice aa raha hai, and I had this hatred against Merchant of Venice because I had done it in school. I was like, कैसे पढ़ाऊंगा? But now that I was a teacher, मैंने एक अलग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से उसको पढ़ा, तो मैं बस एंजॉय करके एक ही रात में पूरा प्ले पढ़ लिया. डोंट रीड इट एज समथिंग दैट्स बोरिंग. Read it like a movie story, movie script. So it'll be nice, trust me. Jen Abhi 2204 is saying, sir, when are you keeping a round table conference for Sudhansh? If you remember, I remember all my ex students. ये in case it's an inside joke, people don't understand. जब मैं MOE पढ़ा रहा हूँ, लोग उटपटांग से सवाल पूछते हैं जिसका ICSE के साथ कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Like someone over here also has asked, at the end of the play when everyone goes inside, Antonio is left alone in the garden. What does he do? क्या कर रहा है वो? गुलाटी मार रहा है वो. अब उसका कोई आंसर नहीं है मेरे पास. बट अगर तुम्हें ऐसा कुछ डिस्कशन करना है, तो आई टोल्ड देम कि फेयरवेल जब भी होगा, आई हैव अ टेबल ऑन द साइड जहां हम लोग बैठ के एमओवी पार्ट 2 लिखेंगे, एमओवी का दूसरा सीक्वल लिखेंगे साथ में, वे वील हैव आवर ओन थियरीज. फेयरवेल हुआ नहीं कोविड की वजह से, जब भी होगा हम लोग करेंगे ये चीज. सो व्हाट हैपेंड टू एंटोनियो एंड शाइलॉक आफ्टर रिंग एपिसोड? दे बोथ मेट आउटसाइड फॉर अ कप ऑफ टी टुगेदर एंड दे वर लाइक, चल फाइनली प्ले खत्म हो गया, अब हम लोग चिल मार सकते हैं. ऑलराइट, आई थिंक ऑल अदर क्वेश्चंस आर रेपिटेटिव, जस्ट फ्रेम्ड इन अनदर वे. In case I've missed out any question of yours, if you feel I've not answered your question, please ask me again. I hope this was helpful. And once again, thank you for all the love. और अगर तुम्हारे पास 15 सेकंड और है ये वीडियो के बाद, तो प्लीज गो एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल ऑल्सो. इट्स वियर्ड दैट आई हैव 3000 ऑड सब्सक्राइबर्स ऑन इंस्टाग्राम बट ओनली 1000 ऑड सब्सक्राइबर्स ऑन यूट्यूब. देख, अगर मैं कुछ पैसे बनाऊंगा यूट्यूब से तो तुम्हारे साथ हाफ हाफ करूंगा. तुम प्लीज यूट्यूब को सब्सक्राइब करो और लोगों को भी बोलो कि सब्सक्राइब करें. आई लव यू गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर एवरीथिंग एंड कीप आस्किंग, आई विल कीप हेल्पिंग. टेक केयर, बाय.